The Nightbeat starts right now.
Dogs dumped and abandoned. That moment captured by home security cameras. Time of the Nightbeat, residents' concerns and why the issue of stray and abandoned dogs is catching the attention of state lawmakers.
Plus, it's been a vital resource for children across South Texas suffering from mental health issues. And now the Children's Bereavement Center is moving to a new home.
It's a growing trend, and it may be here to stay. Why some experts say so many people are holding on to their older cars. But first.
Dogs dumped and left behind in a Northwest Side neighborhood, and all of it was caught on camera.
As the night team's John Paul Barajas explains, neighbors want the dogs picked up for their safety and the pup's safety.
Dumps two dogs in the streets to fend for themselves that have been a part of your family.
Donald Page's home security camera caught a couple of dogs being abandoned in the Timber Ridge neighborhood on May 19th. The SUV turns on his street, cuts their headlights, pushes the dogs out, and takes off.
Dogs begin to run after the vehicle as she pulls off. I mean, that's so tragic. You know, they thought, hey, here's our owner, here's our caretaker, and she's pulling off and leaving.
The dogs have been roaming the neighborhood. Page says he regularly sees the two. And that they often go back to the spot where they were left at. He tells us he's called the city's 311 line for help multiple times.
I called the city again this afternoon when I saw the dogs for the second time, and I was told it would be 1 to 5 days before they might send someone out.
Animal Care Services sent us a statement that reads in part, "This call is being handled with a trap because the responding officer did not find the dogs in question while patrolling the area." Page says as more time passes, he worries.
Someone's child might be mistaken for a small animal, or that someone's pet, you know, might kick in that prey drive of those two dogs.
This surveillance video appears to show the dogs going after a neighbor's cat. We're told the cat was able to get away, but the issue of dumping dogs and stray animals in San Antonio has State Senator Jose Menendez thinking about potential legislation.
People need to be responsible dog owners. If you don't spay or neuter them, the probability of having unplanned puppies is going to be great. And it's our tax dollars that are trying to solve this problem.
And the number of the stray dogs in the San Antonio area are also getting out-of-state attention. A Los Angeles nonprofit plans to host a spay and neuter clinic in Bandera next month. They're also trying to work out a date for a clinic similar to that in San Antonio. Meanwhile, the city of San Antonio has resources available for pet owners. We'll have all that information on our website, KSAT.com. And lastly, the owner of the cat that was chased in this story wants to make it clear he does not believe the dogs are the problem in this case, but instead the people who left them behind. At Animal Care Services, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
John Paul, thank you. Now let's switch gears and go to developing news out of Florida, where we're hearing that 9 people were hurt in a shooting.
Another shooting. This is the video showing the moments gunshots were heard in Hollywood, Florida. Just south of Fort Lauderdale, you can see people in the streets scattering.
Yeah, running for their lives. Now, we're still working to learn more of the details, but this is what we know so far. Early reports say that shots were fired after 2 groups of people began arguing. Now, we don't have the ages of the victims yet, but police there say that several of the victims were taken to a children's hospital.
We also know one suspect has been detained and officers are still looking for another. We'll continue to bring you updates both online and on air as more information comes into our newsroom.
Now back here at home, the Texas legislature's regular session wrapped up today after nearly 5 months of work. And in that time, lawmakers have sent 1,026 bills to Governor Greg Abbott's desk, and he has until June 18th to sign or veto them. Meanwhile, Governor Greg Abbott has called an immediate special session that was set for 9 o'clock tonight, just hours after the end of the legislative session, saying, quote, many crucial items remain unpassed. The governor said that tonight's was the first of several, with this one focusing on cutting property taxes and border security. He wants those to be the big ticket items. Now, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick actually called on the governor earlier today to call for a special session. In a letter to the governor, Patrick outlined many of those same topics that Abbott discussed when he called for a special session. You can read more about their agenda right now on KSAT.com.
And one of those bills that was signed into law over the weekend by Governor Abbott, the Crown Act. It prohibits race-based hair discrimination in state schools and workplaces. 20 states have already passed similar legislation. Here in Texas, the Crown Act will go into effect on September 1st. Today, the Texas House named 12 members to prosecute its case against impeached Attorney General Ken Paxton in the state Senate. It is a Republican majority board of managers made up of 7 Republicans and 5 Democrats. Members of the General Investigating Committee held a press conference about what happens next. So now the Senate will hold a trial. It's unclear when that will happen, though, but it will be before August 28th. Before that, leaders will come up with the rules for the trial and then present them to the Senate on June 20th. Now, in order for Paxton to leave and never hold elected office again, 2/3 of the Senate would need to support that. Paxton is accused of bribery and corruption. Right now, his duties as Attorney General have been suspended until the Senate trial is over.
And back here in San Antonio, let's talk about the weather. That was the story just a few hours ago. We know that heavy rain started coming down. The number of power outages went up. Right now, 478 homes and businesses don't have power. That's according to the CPS outage map. Now, that's down from 4,500 people who were without power just a few hours ago. So that situation is getting better, Sarah.
That's right, Stephania. And in fact, this was a look at a little bit earlier. This is a typical trouble spot with all the construction. This is 1604 Northwest Military. Now, a lot of rain fell in that area in just a short amount of time. It resulted in flash flooding in spots. Of course, it's never a good idea to drive through a flooded roadway, especially when it intersects with a creek or a stream. And there was a flash flood warning in effect for San Antonio until 9:30 this evening. That has since passed, but here's a look at how much rain fell in that particular area. Anywhere you see this yellow color right near Chavano Park, 1604 I-10 Northwest Military, that is 2 inches of rain in a short amount of time. And you can see just how many areas saw a decent amount of rain today. Around San Antonio, we had pockets of 1 to 3 inches of rain. Not that much fell, though, east towards Schertz, New Braunfels, San Marcos, and Luling. Still, though, a lot of healthy rain around San Antonio throughout the afternoon today. And right now on the radar, all the rain around San Antonio has come to an end. All that's left is this shower activity and a few rumbles of thunder out near Kennedy, Karnes City, and down towards George West as well. I do anticipate a quiet evening tonight. And in fact, the weather pattern over the next several days will be fairly quiet. Coming up, a look at some of your pictures you sent in from earlier rain. We'll also take a neighborhood view of those rainfall totals, and I'll get you ready for the work week ahead. Tim, Stephania.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, in the years since the Robb Elementary School shooting, the Children's Bereavement Center of South Texas has been ingrained in the community. They've provided things like free counseling.
Yeah, and they've been working in a temporary facility as they've been doing all of that. But as the night team's Lee Waldman shows us, work is almost complete now on a permanent location.
It's been a hard year. I choose to look at it, though, as an opportunity that we had to make a difference.
The past year has shown there is no straight line to dealing with the grief, pain, and trauma of what happened in Uvalde last May.
Getting through the trauma, the physical part, the reenacting of what the pain of those children and those teachers must have been, that is something that we're still working on.
Dr. Marian Sokol with the Children's Bereavement Center and her team have stayed busy helping kids and their parents move through feelings, all while building this.
1 year, for that to coincide with the opening of our building, to me, that's almost symbolic.
This space was donated by the St. Philip's Episcopal Church next door. The work being done inside is also being donated by several companies out of San Antonio and surrounding communities. When it's completed, there will be private counseling offices, art therapy rooms, and an outdoor space to promote healing.
We're very excited. What I need now is to be able to find a couple more grief counselors who are qualified, because we've gotten really busy, and I know we're going to get busier the first week of June.
In June, the center is hosting a 4-day grief camp. Sokol says they need 2 master's level grief therapists to help continue the important work they've started this last year.
Now maybe, hopefully, we've gotten through a lot of that pain of the first year, and now we can really speak to each other together.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
And the center that's being built also has security features like ballistic glass. Dedication ceremony for the permanent facility, that's going to take place on June 29th.
It's time to take a look at some of the day's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. A man accused of setting at least 2 homes on fire is now in custody. Crews were called for fire set around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The first one coming in from Arbor Street, then followed by another one about a block away on Delgado Street. The fire department says crews were assigned to nearby homes just to monitor potential threats. No injuries were reported. As for that suspect, no word yet on what charges he will be facing. A man is dead after he was hit by multiple cars while attempting to walk across I-35. Police say it happened last night about 10:30 on I-35 north between Eisenhower and Walsham. That man was repeatedly struck by passing vehicles because they couldn't see him due to the darkness in the night hours. Emergency services pronounced that man dead at the scene. And that is a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. Today, we remember the soldiers who gave their lives for our freedom and the families they left behind. Those who have lost an immediate family member are known as Gold Star families.
Cindy Hildner lost her husband, Brigadier General Terrence Hildner, in Afghanistan. And after his death, Hildner says that she was in a fog, but helping another widow really made a difference for her.
I realized that I needed to help others because I got so much by helping her. She helped me. I thought, this is the path to heal.
And more than a decade after her husband's death, Hildner is involved with organizations that help military and also Gold Star families.
And she now hopes those families will reach out for support and that the public remembers Memorial Day is about far more than the start of summer.
Question. You're driving out on the road. Have you noticed this? Older cars, more of them on the road. Yeah, it's a thing. Why so many people are now saying nope to new vehicles. Just ahead.
Well, get this. Folks are keeping their old cars a lot longer, including me. A recent study showed the average age of small vehicles on the road is about 12 and a half years old.
The Night Team's Patty Santos finds out there are plenty of reasons that people are holding on to their car keys.
Mobile mechanic Juan Salazar has been in business for 15 years. These days, he says repair work is revving up.
All my work has been like probably double.
He gets nearly 30 calls a day. It started with the pandemic when new and used vehicle prices began to climb.
You say, okay, you know what? I mean, it's already paid off, so might as well just fix it and keep it for another couple of years.
12.5 years. That's how long the average car is on the road, according to a study by S&P Global Mobility.
One of the fastest increases we've seen since the Great Recession in 2008-2009 timeframe.
Todd Campo says the trend might stick around.
In 2028, we expect that there's going to be over 122 million vehicles over that 12 years of age, which is about 40% of our vehicle fleet that will sit beyond 12 years of age.
His study points to the economy and durability as reasons owners won't let go.
The consuming public is just realizing that not only are we in a situation where we need to keep our vehicles on the road longer, but they are actually surviving okay. They're still usable, they're still safe.
For those who intend to keep their investments for longer than 12 years, Salazar says routine maintenance will do the trick.
Treat it like a baby, you know, like that, it lasts longer.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Take a live look outside. It has been an interesting Memorial Day. Got a little loud here around the 6 o'clock show downtown in the studio.
Yes, I mean, even one of our TVs, our monitors went off. I mean, a lot of activity. People have been losing power, but slowly gaining it throughout the night. 66 degrees out there right now. Let's turn things over to our meteorologist, Sarah Spivey, who's been tracking this crazy weather today.
Yeah, we had a lot of pictures sent in through our KSAT Connect feature on our weather app. I particularly enjoyed this one, given the fact that it's Memorial Day. Lightning strike there. These storms were quite electrified through San Antonio, but the biggest risk really was the flooding, and we did see some flooding around San Antonio. Right now, all that's left of the rain is moving through parts of Wilson County into Karnes County near Karnes City. Even the lightning has really started to dissipate. We've only got some thunder and lightning down south moving through parts of George West, but it was a very healthy rainfall event for many folks around San Antonio. I'm going to show you the rainfall totals here, and we're going to go ahead and look at some neighborhoods. Unfortunately, New Braunfels, Seguin, you missed out on the heavier of the rain, but anywhere you see these yellows here, that's where we saw about 2 inches of rainfall at least in areas down near Poth, but through Elmendorf, close to Bronig Lake, that's where we had about 2-3 inches of radar estimated rain through parts of eastern downtown San Antonio, up pretty much along I-10, and then the rim really was another area that got a lot of rain. We saw at the rim in some places here about 2 to 3 inches of radar estimated rain. Very impressive rainfall totals. And then finally, bullseye, we saw east of Comfort about 5 inches of radar estimated rain in that part of Kendall County. Impressive rainfall amounts in just the span of a couple of hours there this afternoon. Kirk County also got some good rain as well, and then out toward Hondo seeing decent amount of rain too. As I mentioned, things have really started to calm down for us, and we expect to enter into a kind of more quiet weather pattern. But I want to show you something here. This rain, even though it did produce some localized flooding, even some small hail, very beneficial. Here's a look at the current drought monitor. We've still got a bullseye of exceptional drought over Kirk County, Kendall County. Remember that 5 inches of rain that I showed you in Comfort? That is a bullseye right over the area that needs the rain the most. So that is really good to see, and we should be able to see a lot of the drought trimmed back away from San Antonio as well. As we look at the upper level weather pattern around Texas, a short wave in the upper levels of the atmosphere, pretty much an area of low pressure, is what caused that rain today, as expected. Behind it, we've got the opposite of a weather pattern, a high pressure system going to be settling over Texas in the coming days. So starting tomorrow, really going to be entering into a dry weather pattern, not really seeing our rain chances tick back up again until later on this weekend, upcoming weekend, when we'll see some isolated showers and storms. But all in all, again, tomorrow's going to be a pretty quiet day, waking up at 67 and partly cloudy. Right around 10, we'll be at 75 degrees. Around noon, 82, 89 for the high. So it is going to be a warm one, and it is going to be pretty humid too. Here's a look at neighborhood highs: 88 Lackland, 87 Stone Oak, 88 New Braunfels, 86 in Timberwood Park, 88 in Hondo, 90s out west toward the Rio Grande. And then looking ahead to the forecast, again, quiet for us for the remainder of the work week. Highs will be near 90, feeling a little bit warmer than that because of the high humidity, bringing in the chance for rain on Sunday. Another beautiful thing we saw today was this nice rainbow behind the storms. As the sun was setting, we got some nice rainbows, pictures of rainbows. This was taken by our photojournalist Adam Baratza in the Storm Chaser. So a nice little end to the day there with that beautiful picture of the rainbow.
And still the sun was out, so we got a chance to see that. Thank you.
The sun is not shining in Boston. They failed to pull off the greatest comeback in history of NBA.
But a rainbow is shining on the Miami Heat, coming on the other side of that storm. When we come back, we'll talk about what went down in Game 7 and how the Celtics managed to force it in the first place and how the Heat survived. Plus, there's only one undefeated team left in the state tournament, heading into the state softball tournament this week. To be specified, we'll talk to Canyon coming up.
It's pressure. I mean, I definitely think people are coming for us harder than they would, but I think we can take it, play our game. We're good.
Canyon softball is bringing their undefeated record to the state tournament in big board sports. The New Braunfels Canyon softball team is certainly no stranger to success at this time of year. The Cougarettes have advanced to the third round or better in each of the last 8 playoffs. They've also made plenty of memories in Austin. This year, Canyon is making their 6th all-time appearance at state and their first since 2019. But there's something a little bit different about this year's run. They're currently the only team in the state tournament that's still undefeated. Does that matter to them?
I don't think so. There's at least one team that's already there that's probably not going to worry at all about our record. So I don't think that changes anything as far as our preparation and the way people are going to perceive us. It's nice to have. It's nice to have that on the record books going in, but I don't think it's anything that changes anything.
Here is the matchup. 31-0 Canyon goes up against 37-7 Colleyville Heritage in the Class 5A state semifinals Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. The winner goes to the state championship game on Saturday. The Dehennis softball team is already in Austin. The defending champs got this great send-off today as they departed for Red and Charlene McCombs Field, where they've won 2 state titles over the last 4 years. The journey for their 3rd title continues tomorrow with the UIL Class 1A state semis against Neches. First pitch is scheduled for 10 a.m. If they win that, they'll play for the title again on Wednesday. The road to the College Baseball World Series is set, and the TCU baseball team is one of 4 Texas squads in the 64-team field. The Horned Frogs earned an automatic bid to this year's NCAA tournament by winning the Big 12 tournament outright. They claimed the title yesterday with a 12-5 victory over Oklahoma State in the championship game. Today, they held a watch party for the NCAA selection show where they learned that they would be heading to Arkansas for the Fayetteville Regional. They're happy to be so close to home.
It's 5.5 hours away, so hopefully some Frog fans can make it out there. And I think just to be able to play in the postseason, with the way the things were going in the middle of the season, it was kind of like up in the air. So just to have the opportunity, I think we're all really excited, and we're playing good at the right time. And so we're just excited for the opportunity, and hopefully we can make the most of it.
The Horned Frogs will open their tournament run against Arizona on Friday at 8 p.m. Let's head to the majors. Rangers open up a 3-game road series on a beautiful day in Detroit. Pick this one up on the top of the 5th. No score, not anymore. Corey Seager powers the first pitch he sees deep to right and out of here for a 3-run blast. Great way to open the scoring. It's 3-0 Texas. Seager would cap another scoring burst with an RBI single in the top of the 7th. Rangers win it 5-0. Seager and the rest of the lineup had to stay patient against Tigers pitcher Matthew Boyd.
He was good early. We battled and just couldn't do anything against him. Then had a couple of good at-bats there. Marcus takes the walk, and then unfortunately you get on the board. It's just a product of the lineup. You have guys on, you have more chances to drive runs in. And that just is 1 through 9. Everybody's swinging the bat well, taking their walks, just moving the baton.
Meanwhile, Astros looking to keep pace with the Rangers in the AL West, starting a homestand against the Twins today. Bottom 7, bases loaded. Jose Altuve by Felicia. That rocket to left is a grand slam. Little guy coming up big as Houston takes the lead 5-4. But with the Twins down to their last out, Royce Lewis ties it up with an RBI single in the top of the 9th. And Jose Abreu absolutely crushes a 2-run homer in the top of the 10th. Astros fall in extras 7-5. It is do or die tonight in Boston. Got the highlights next. It all comes down to this. Heat and Celtics in Game 7 in Boston with a trip to the NBA Finals on the line. Former Spur Derek White, the hero from Game 6, keeps the Celtics in it with a layup in the 3rd quarter that cuts the deficit to 8 points, 66-58. But Miami enters back in the 4th. Jimmy Butler pokes the ball away, gets it back, and throws it down on the break. And there is no miracle in Boston tonight. The Heat win Game 7, 103-84. So just like we thought a week ago, the 2023 NBA Finals are set. Game 1 between the Nuggets and Heat is this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. in Denver. You can watch it live on KSAT 12.
Sean Elliott, he fires the 3 and hits it! His 6th of the game! What a shot!
On this day of remembrance, how could we not remember the Memorial Day miracle? Sean Elliott's incredible game-winning 3-ball gave the Spurs an unforgettable 86-85 victory over the Portland Trailblazers in the 1999 Western Conference Finals. San Antonio went on to win their first of 5 NBA championships that year. Hopefully those days are coming back sooner rather than later.
But nobody else is allowed to top the Memorial Day miracle.
That is correct.
That is San Antonio property right there.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Andrew.
You got it.
Thank you. All right, Wendy. We'll be right back.
Well, rain is starting to end not only around San Antonio, but completely for the evening. In fact, for the remainder of the evening, it's going to be a quiet night for us. Temperatures are going to be falling into the upper 60s overnight, 89 tomorrow, and in fact, we'll be near 90 for the remainder of the week. Isolated rain does return to the forecast by Sunday.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Stay dry. Have a great night.
Good night.